So here we are. So today, got an important topic to talk about today. We're going to be talking about. Let me erase this real quick. All right, let me see. So today, here's how we operate. The post-reality era. Now, this is by I'm gonna quote who I got this from, right? Because this isn't my own original. This is something that I actually found on a blog page, and I was just doing some research on it, right? It just came to my attention, and I was doing some research on it, and it's very interesting, right? What is the post-reality era? What is that? So essentially, to kind of sum it up, the post-reality era. Let me first off, let me turn this down a little bit. My bad. I feel like I was kind of loud. Um, yeah, the post-reality era. So this is something that I came across when I was just doing some research on like AI and things of that nature. And essentially, what post-reality era is basically the interaction that we have with artificial intelligence, right? The article basically explains how there are people who are literally creating their own realities using AI, but there's no definitive evidence to back the things that AI is giving them, right? So therefore, people are creating these realities using AI, using the validation from AI, and therefore creating their own worlds, no matter how realistic the information that they're getting is or isn't. And I found this really interesting because I feel like that's kind of the climate that we're headed towards. A world where delusion is at its highest, at an all-time high. And I don't have an issue with that because I know that there are some people that thrive off of a certain type of delusion, but I think that this is something different. Like it's two different types of delusion. There's a delusion that you have a high level of belief in what it is that you're doing and you don't allow anybody to take you off of your trajectory. But then there's another level of delusion to where it's like you're just choosing to believe in a false narrative, and no matter how much evidence you get on how this um thing or this way that you're living, no matter how it may seem, right? You choose to believe in information that's given to you, and you're not gonna check it. You're just gonna be like, nope, I believe in it. This is it. This is all it is to it. I don't care who comes with whatever facts or evidence. This is what I believe. And so I do have some notes right here prepared as well, because I thought that this was a really fascinating topic to talk about. And lately, a lot of the things that I've been talking about have been AI related. And it's essentially the reason why is because I feel like it's playing a pivotal part in our lives, right? Like AI is playing a pivotal part in our lives and in our economy. And if we don't have a deeper understanding of ourselves, right, then how are we going to have a deeper understanding of AI? Because essentially it is just an aspect of us. And if we don't understand how to use it, then it's going to use us essentially, right? I'm just going to pause that. I don't think I need that anymore. Well, I kind of like it. But yeah, essentially, yeah, it's gonna come to a point where we're gonna be used by it as opposed to the other way around. And I think that it's important for us to understand who we are first and how we think before we start utilizing these tools to help us to grow and evolve and do whatever else it is that we're doing in our own lives. So, yeah, I think this is really important. This is a really important topic to talk about, and we're going to get into it. So, make sure you're liking the live, make sure you're sharing this live, make sure you're commenting, letting people know what's going on, because this information is vital. We all need to know what's happening right now in our economy because it's so important in our own worlds. We need to understand how we're shaping our own reality. So, yeah, we're going to get into it. We're going to get into it. So, let's talk about it real quick. And this is just kind of a paraphrased point, right? So, we're entering in a post-reality era, which is different from a post-truth era. Now, if you don't know what a post-truth is, it's basically when people argue over facts within a loosely shaped space. Even if it was distorted or disillusioned, it remained a collective stage. But now we're entering into this post-reality area where AI can generate, where reality can be AI generated for a single person and is felt as real. So basically, instead of just going and looking at evidence and like putting two pieces of facts together and drawing a conclusion, we're just going to AI for whatever facts that we have, and we're just going with that. And we're creating our own realities based on that and not really necessarily fact checking the facts that we're looking up. We're just like, okay, let's look up boom, 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 put it in, and then it's like, oh, okay, that's what it is. Cool. That's what I'm going with, right? That's what's happening. And so it's great because it cuts down on research time, but at the same time, sometimes AI can be wrong, right? AI can make mistakes sometimes. So it's important to really double down on the research that you're looking up whenever you're utilizing AI to do whatever it is that you're doing, right? So I have another point right here. An example is like AI tailors economic interpretations for you, selective states, framing, and tone geared towards your engagement, your emotional response, and becomes your reality. So that's just an example. Like AI basically tailors economic interpretations for you, selective states, framing, and tone geared towards your engagement, which your emotional response becomes your reality. So literally, it's not even about the facts anymore. It's about how you feel. So if the information feels good to you, then you're gonna go with it because of how connected you are to it on an emotional level. It's like, oh man, it makes so much sense, right? It makes so much sense and it resonates with me so much that it has to be real. These have to be facts. But the thing is, AI starts to learn you. So it starts to learn your tone, your mannerisms, the way you speak. So when it's speaking to you, it's using your own language to speak to you. So anything that it gives back to you, it's going to sound like it makes sense. Like, oh, yeah, that makes sense, of course, right? Because it sounds like me. It sounds like how I would say it or how I would think, right? But that's the thing that we have to be aware of. That's the thing that we have to be cautious of because although it's a great tool, we still have to understand that it's emulating us in a sense, right? It's not necessarily going to help us to think critically as far as like questioning the things that we're giving it. It's always going to have a level of agreement with you, depending on how you have yours set up. Although the things that it does give you, it can help you to think critically, but there's still some aspects of it that are just agreeable, right? They're just agreeing with whatever it is that you're saying and adding layers on top of the things that you've already given it, just to make it sound good, make it sound better, right? So post-reality era is the theme. So what does this mean? This means that there is a cultural shift where reality is personalized based on how messages make us feel or act, not on objective facts or sources, right? So everybody is basically creating their own realities now. Everybody has the power to create their reality however they see fit. Whatever imagination or whatever dream that they may have had in their minds, and it may have felt impossible at the time, now you can bring that dream and bring that imagination to reality because of the technology that we have. You can literally create anything, and there can never be no two things alike. So this is going to bring about some new found discoveries. Like there are things that are being uncovered now. There are things that are being created now that have never been seen before. And it's so fascinating because it's like everybody's so creative, right? But it's true, right? It's true. Everybody is creating their own narrative and creating their own realities. And although it is a great thing, in some cases it's not, right? Because it could cause problems in the future, especially if these things aren't checked, aren't put through some sort of like um analytic. You know what I'm saying? Like if there's no analysis on the information that we're looking up on a daily basis, it's like, how are we really gonna know whether the things that we're looking up are facts or not? Right. But if it makes sense and you're feeding this to your community, it's like, well, I mean, that's just what it is. Right. And if it works for them, then okay, cool, bet. Right. Next point. The next thing we're going to talk about is distinction from post-truth. So post-truth challenges shared realities content. Post-reality skews the very existence of shared reality. So what does this mean? Basically, the truth is challenging the things that are being created right now. And there's nothing wrong with that. That just means it's being sharpened. I think that it's important to really challenge the things that we think on a daily basis and the research that we're researching on a daily basis, because it just makes us better. It makes us sharper. It makes us more concise with the things that we're looking up and the information that we're putting out, right? Like when I did this research right here, I read on this for a while. And then I went back and I kind of proofread everything that I was looking over. And I was like, okay, okay, this makes sense. Okay. And then I also got so I did some fact checks as well, like just to make sure that everything was on point. So yeah, you know, I think it really makes you a better researcher and it makes you more analytical because you're not just going with the first thing that is given. You're actually like, okay, let me kind of double down. Let me do this. Let me do that. Right. And I'm gonna tell you, this is going to be a pertinent skill. I feel like thinking is going to be an actual skill moving forward, because there are those that just don't have the capacity or the ability to just think for themselves or look at things and think about it on a critical level or from a more like in-depth level. Like they don't go deep on things. And I think the beautiful thing about the times that we grew up in, that we were always going deep into like different information and stuff like that. So it made us want to learn more and grow more because of the information that was being given to us. And we kept going deeper and deeper and deeper until we came to a solid conclusion about the information that we was looking up. Right? That was me growing up, me and my sister growing up. And so now when I get certain information, I like to go and question. I like to go deeper into the information. I just don't like things given to me. I want to really understand it on a deeper level. And so I think that's going to be something that is going to be pivotal forward, like understanding things on a deeper level and always like challenging the things that you hear or the things that you learn, because that's how you grow. Like maybe what you knew back then isn't conducive to what's happening right now. Like maybe the things you knew back in 2020 don't necessarily apply in 2025. So you have to be checking that. You have to be checking your thinking at every single level in your life to make sure that you're all growing and that you're staying sharp. Because it's like if you don't grow, you die, right? Or you fall prey to whoever's reality that is strongest. So Okay, I'm gonna go on to my next point. AI generated personal realities. By the way, make sure y'all like the live. Make sure y'all sharing, tapping the screen. I appreciate y'all for being here. Appreciate y'all for being here. AI generated personal realities. Algorithms curate experiences and interpretations uniquely tailored, reinforcing individual perceptions. So that's kind of what I was going into next anyway. We do get the chance to create our own realities because we're moving into what I call I didn't coin it, but it was just something I heard. It's a post-labor economy where there aren't going to be any more jobs. There's not going to be any more like people just telling you what to do. You really have to be thinking for yourself if you want to live a specific kind of life. If you want to really create your reality, or if you really want to like have something of substance, you have to be willing to create your own reality because nobody is going to create that for you. And we've been given the opportunity to do that. If you're somebody who has never really thought for yourself, AI is giving you the opportunity to really think for yourself on a critical level because we've never gotten that opportunity in the past, but now we're getting the opportunity. So, yeah, we're getting a chance to create our own realities and getting a chance to think independently. Because I mean, the way that things are going right now, you can't really be too dependent or too reliant on just one source to fulfill all of your needs. You have to be diversifying out here, right? You have to be using one thing to pour into another. You have to be creating different things so that way they can sustain you while you go out and create other things too. Thank you for the loves. I truly appreciate it. So that's the thing that is happening right now. And that's what we're getting the opportunity to do. We're getting the opportunity to create our realities how we see fit. Again, there's nothing wrong with that, but this is just something to be aware of because you can have cognitive dissonance, right? Where you can disassociate from reality as you're creating your own. That's the thing about it. You have to be able to integrate both what's happening in real life and then the life that you want to create. You have to be able to integrate the two. Because if you're able to do that, now you create reality on a whole nother level, on a whole nother spectrum. Because now you're doing things that have never been done, that you never thought were possible, at least by yourself. Maybe you thought you needed like an entire team and stuff like that. You do still need people. Don't get it twisted. You still need people. But this right here carries so much. It helps so much, right? Let's move on. Threat to consensus, right? Democracies rely on a common narrative. As realities fragment, collective decision making and trust weaken. So that's kind of what's happening right now. Like you can see that a lot of people don't really trust our government. I mean, I think nobody's ever really trusted the government for real, but it's now more apparent than ever. Like we all can't really come to a common understanding because everybody is looking out for self-interest. Like if it's not in the interest of them, they're not interested in it, which is why we have what we have right now. Right? Y'all know what I mean? Like that's why we got what we got right now. And we just got to deal with it. So, what do? We have to come to a new collective understanding. Everybody wants to live a certain kind of way. Everybody wants certain things. I mean, I feel like everybody wants the same things, but everybody's going about obtaining it a different way. Everybody wants, and this is something that I learned from my late mentor. Everybody wants four things: love, wealth, health, and happiness. That's the four main foundations, the four main pillars that everybody wants in their life. But everybody is going about obtaining these things in a different way. And so there's no collective agreement really on how these things can be attained for the betterment of all. And everybody is just kind of like utilizing the resources to just get what they can for themselves. And those that can get along with the go along, they kind of benefit from that too, right? So that's kind of where we're at with it right now. And I feel like, you know, the old saying, things get worse before they get better. But I think that things need to really fall apart before they can actually come together. And right now there is a falling apart and a coming together happening all at the same time, because people are starting to have a collective understanding that this can't go on. The way that the economy is going, the way that life is moving right now, it can't continue this way. Something's got to change. And that change starts with us. It starts with us educating ourselves and educating our children and becoming the pioneers for the future. Because the things that we're putting out right now are echoing into the future. So whatever it is that you're doing right now, guaranteed you in the next year, in the next 3, in the next 10, 5, 10 years, that's exactly what you're going to be doing. So you got to be preparing yourself for the future right here, right now. It doesn't matter how many people show up in these lives or whatever the case is. This is the future that I am preparing myself for. Because when there's thousands of people on these chat rooms and stuff like that, guess what? This is how I'm going to show up. Exactly how I showed up when there was only 2 people, when there was only 1, when there was none. I'm creating that reality for myself. And I'm moving at a different pace too, because now I'm doing more research and I'm getting more understanding as to what's happening right now and just delivering it to you in a way that it makes sense, right? So, 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 so. Okay. Not gonna be on here too much longer. But let's talk about why does this matter, right? Why does this matter? Why are we talking about this? I got a couple of points as to why this matters, right? This creates societal impact. And so, without overlapping factual baselines, social trust erode and polarized pockets of reality could become more extreme. Meaning that the things that we all agree on as a society, they just disappear over time. And then people who start to create their own reality start to grow. And depending on the intention of that group, it can either be a good thing, like it could be for the benefit of society, or it could be for the detriment. But it all depends on how these little pockets are growing. Like right now, this right here is just one of those pockets that are growing right now. But it's up to me to determine how this goes, the trajectory of this goes, right? Because my goal is to help people to become more understanding of themselves and understanding of the opportunities and the resources that we have available to us, right? And how to utilize those things, because I'm utilizing those things, right? So it only makes sense that we all come together collectively to understand and help one another to operate and maneuver this reality that is being created right now. Because all of us have never experienced what we're experiencing right now. And because we're the first to experience it, as we are growing up, we are going to become the ones that the younger generation look at. Like, okay, who are the ones that were doing something in the past that helped us to create the reality that we live in now? They're going to be doing that, because that's what I did. Like, I was looking for the ones like, okay, who was the pioneers? And you see them. The ones that have been doing it for 10, 20 years, you see them, right? And they're the ones that the youth are going to look at when things start rolling, when things start happening, right? They're going to be like, okay, who are the ones that were impacting me as I was growing up, right? Because now you got like celebrities. The new celebrity now are streamers. As you can see, the power structure is shifting. Like, if you don't see it, bro, it's happening right now. The structure is shifting right before our eyes. And you have to be on board with what's happening right now or get left behind. It's just that simple. So yeah, what else? What else? AI influence. Algorithms don't just filter what we see, they shape how we interpret the world. Mm, 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 mm. There's been a lot of talk about algorithms too, and having a deeper understanding of them. I think we need to cultivate a deeper understanding of how algorithms work, because they're shaping our realities. And there's people who look at things as a doom and gloom, like, oh my God, life is so bad and things are burning down and da, 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 da. Like there's that doom and gloom, right, algorithm. But then there's another algorithm of people that are actually looking at reality like, oh, this is a new beginning. This is a new opportunity. The world is not just being destroyed. It's actually evolving. It's changing. It's shifting, right? But in order for things to shift, old things have to die off. Old things have to crumble for the new things to come in, right? And but there's those two different perspectives, right? And then you have people who are more like religious, and then you have people who are more spiritual. Like I see that all the time, and I see battles constantly between people who are Christians and people who are more of the spiritual nature. And it's just like those are just two different realities that are happening right now, right? And that's just what it is. And the AI, depending on what you interact with the most, is going to feed you more of that. So that's why I say it's important to know and understand who you are, because the things that you feed into are going to come back, right? You're going to see them pop up. You're going to see them pop up on your For You page. You're going to see them pop up on, your Explore page like Instagram, on your recommended feed like YouTube, even on your recommenders on like Twitch, or Twitter. You're gonna see the same type. Even in the ads, you're going to see the same type of content based on what you're indulging in. So if we consciously indulge in certain types of content, we can really change a lot of things. At least you can change your perspective of the world, and that in essence helps you to become a pioneer of change, right? Another thing to look for why this matters is because we have emotional validation. Feeling moved or validated becomes the proof of reality, regardless of origins. So if something moves you hard enough, if something hits you hard enough, bro, it doesn't matter about where it came from. It's like, ooh, I resonate with that. It doesn't matter where it came from. It's just like, I resonate with that. I really, really resonate with that. So that's another thing to look after too, because there's always things vying for your attention. And if you understand the psychology marketing of things, you will know that a lot of people play on the emotional, right? When it comes to marketing. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's just reality, right? That's just what it is. But it's something to be aware of, because with AI being involved now these things get smarter now. Things get smarter, and for those that are in the marketing space or of any stature, it's only going to get better. It's only going to get better. So prepare yourself. Prepare yourself, because it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to say the least. To say the least. And then this is something that's new that I haven't really heard too much talk about, but this is gonna have agency issues. And this is another reason why this matters. If individuals don't recognize how AI mediates their worldview, decisions may stem from invisible manipulation. It's going to come to a point where AI agents are going to be the ones that are operating on social media as opposed to real people. Like the reduction in actual people utilizing these platforms is going to increase, right? Because more people are starting to implement these agents to go out there and run their ads or operate their social medias or even create content. So it's going to be a lot of hands off. Like people aren't really going to be on social media like that, like real people. So that's another thing to consider too, right? To You have to understand like who's an actual person and who's just like an AI bot or an agent just to come and yeah. I think I'm gonna stop there for now though. I think I'm gonna stop there for now because there's a lot more to cover here, but I think I'm gonna stop there for now because this was just fascinating to me. Like just this read right here was fascinating to me, and I really wanted to share this with y'all. I thought it was important. I feel like it's needed, it's necessary. Let me know in the comments if you found this necessary or important or whatever the case is, because this is where we're moving towards. This is the reality that's being built right now. And if anything, you got to be documenting your process. Like that right there is probably the biggest key, is documenting the process of it all. Like if you're able to document and really see like where you were and what it is that you was doing throughout your reality, throughout life, it makes a difference. It makes a big difference because you can project your growth, right? You can literally project how you're growing. So that's what these tools are for. And if you don't use them, then I mean, what good are they to have if you're not using them, right? Somebody's going to use them. Might as well be you, right? But first and foremost, you got to be able to use this tool first. This is the first tool that was ever given to us, and this tool operates all of these other tools. So once you're able to operate these, man, life is easy, bro. Life becomes just like seamless. Like you can do anything, bro. You're no longer limited. You're no longer limited. You're unlimited. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for the love, for the hearts. I truly appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you for being here on this journey with me. Thank you for allowing me to be on this journey with you. And I truly believe we do better when we grow together. So let's continue to grow with one another. And if you find this helpful, inspiring in any way, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell to get notified. And check me out on YouTube. Check me out here on TikTok. Go to the TikTok shop. Go and get you some gear. Go and get you some vitamins and some pre-workout, things of that nature. Go get the Discovery Guide, the Intelligence Guide to Understanding Yourself more in depth. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's my time. So until next time, peace and progress. Stay blessed.